Hi, this is Craig and welcome back to Cruising Off Duty. If you've been watching the channel, you know that I sailed a 50-foot catamaran, an Xquisite X5, from Cape Town, South Africa, across the South Atlantic, over the equator, through the Caribbean. And after being delayed by over 10 days by a US Coast Guard fiasco, we finally get permission to leave. So we think, yeah, let's just get provisioned and head out. Not so quick. First, we have to go to immigration and get signed out of the country, and you think that might be simple, right? Boaters leave all the time from here. Oh, no, nothing's that smooth. We have a huge fiasco. It's almost comical how crazy it is, and you're definitely going to want to stay tuned for that. Well, rest assured, we didn't end up in a South African gulag. I don't know, does South Africa have gulags? Anyways, we didn't end up in jail. We did get to go sailing, and we are going to have a lot to show you. So without any further ado, let's get on to this episode. Before we get into this episode, I just want to thank my patrons, some of which who have been around since the beginning of the channel, long since before I was doing any of these transatlantic voyages. And in this particular voyage, a bunch of sponsors that jumped on board to help defer the costs of me flying halfway around the world and spending 8 weeks away from my regular job. Thanks so much. I couldn't have done it without you guys. And without any further ado, let's get on to this episode.
We anchor and hoist the sail.
Okay, welcome back to Cruising Off Duty. I think I better do this update video now because it is May 25th and we were supposed to be leaving on May 20th. We are way behind schedule and it is actually a Saturday right now. And Monday is actually a holiday in the United States. So, long story short, we can't leave South Africa until we get the US Coast Guard registration number for the boat. Some fiasco, I don't know who dropped the ball, but somehow or other we didn't get the US Coast Guard registration, so therefore we can't check out of South Africa. And since Monday is a holiday, the earliest we could get it now is Tuesday, which would be, okay, the 28th. And then it takes about 2 days because they're 9 hours ahead of us, yada yada, to get out of South Africa with the paperwork. So yeah, the earliest we're going to be leaving Thursday, which is not what we expected. So at least a week and a half behind schedule. But good thing is it's given me plenty of opportunity. If you watched my previous episode, I said I want to have some time here in South Africa because who knows when I'll get a chance to come back here to South Africa. Check out the beauty behind me, the waterfall. And I've had plenty of time. I've done, let's see, I went down to Cape Hope, which is the most southwestern part of Africa, the continent. Check that out. We checked out the penguins. I went to the top of Table Mountain. Today, Saturday, we're doing a wine tasting. This is the third wine tasting. You're lucky I can even speak properly after all the wine I've had.
My name is Laurie here at Dimmersdal, and no, you cannot try 4 wines, you have to try 6.
But we're having a great time here in South Africa, so it's not all bad news. But yeah, I thought I'd better put this episode out so anybody who's watching my channel who thought I was supposed to leave on the 20th isn't thinking I'm in the middle of the ocean now. So I'm gonna put out this episode today and explain all that, and hopefully we get out by Thursday and we start this passage. If we wait much longer, I'm gonna have to leave before I get even to the United States. I'm gonna have to leave from some airport in the Caribbean because I eventually have to get back to Ottawa and work and all the other stuff. So yeah, so I told them I can stay the latest July 16th and then I just gotta go. So hopefully we get to at least the Caribbean, if not the East Coast of the United States by then. If not, at least I'm having a great time. So on to wine tasting number 3. Yeah, fun times. Okay, good morning and welcome to beautiful downtown Cape Town in the VA waterfront. I got a smile on my face because that US Coast Guard registration number came in this morning. So we're doing furiously getting everything ready because we want to set sail tomorrow. See, this is why the VA waterfront is so nice. They're actually proactively finding things to get out of the water that are either garbage or anything else that's floating like a dead fish. They'll clean it. And this is why this is the best harbor to be in if you're coming to Cape Town. Okay, this is the day before we leave. This is just the dry goods we've ordered for provisioning. You can see it goes everywhere. I think this worked out to be about $1,500 worth of stuff, $1,400–$1,500. And that doesn't even count the perishables. Well, it's a long passage. I guess we should expect it. It's provisioning day. I'm putting some stuff in the freezer to get rid of any possible bugs. And this is just stuff we've unpacked so far. It's dry goods. Steve, what did this end up costing in dollars approximately, what we've got here?
19 pounds. I believe it was $1,200 US.
1,200. And We still have the perishables to go.
But we have the all-important beer,
The beer fund.
which will be, I think that's about $10,000. Lunch break.
Oh yeah, we need the alarm. The big fire alarm.
Okay, ready? Back to work.
Back to work. There you go. Don't drop those if you've got broken skin. What's that? Bit of a panic on.
Provisioning day. Trying to figure out where we're going to put it all.
Look at that. So efficiently laid out.
We were the model of efficiency in putting things away in a kind of orderly fashion. And I got to say, with a cruising catamaran like this, you have tons and tons of space for all your food. All right, welcome back to Cruising Off Duty. This is the official launch day. We are going to go sailing today for sure. Tomas and Sean, the owner, are off at customs or somebody getting our last minute, it might actually be the port captain. Anyways, they're meeting somebody and then they come back and then we're all gonna go down to customs with our passports and sign out of the country. So it's definitely going on today. We're trying to get out of here around noon. While Sean's gone though, we did this. We got a little mascot, sort of looks like him with his white goatee. And we stuck that on the front of the boat. We'll see how long it takes for Sean to notice it's there. So it's pretty funny. That's it there. Not super obvious, but I'm sure at some point he'll notice it. We spent the morning cleaning, well, the best you can without a power washer. To get it really out of the non-skid, you really need a power washer. We're just doing it with hose and elbow grease, scrub brushes. And we provisioned all the rest of the stuff. What we did was we froze all the rice, flour, everything in the freezer first to make sure any little bugs that are in it are dead. And now we've provisioned properly, taken up the freezers with the proper stuff. Follow along, because this is actually, I'm going to consider day one of the voyage. All the preamble was just tourism in Cape Town. It's been fun, but 10 or 11 days here, that's plenty. And now it's time to get out there and go sailing. So we're on our way. As soon as Tomas and Sean get back from customs or somewhere, we should be ready to go. We're going to customs and immigration to get signed out of the country. Tomas has all our paperwork, our passports, everything we need.
What do you need?
Okay, so no success there. They wanted a stamp on one of the letters from one of the sailing clubs that is signed by them that says they don't have room for us to be in their marina, but they want a stamp from them. So we got to go there now. So now we are at the Royal Cape, what's it called? So now we're at the Royal Cape Yacht Club so we can get a stamp on the letter that they've already given us saying the reason we didn't check out here is because they didn't have space. They wanted a stamp. Crazy. Attempt number 2 to check out. Wish us luck. This is our stowaway. He's having trouble getting through. So this is crazy. So Tomas has been in the country more than 30 days, and so they've deemed him undesirable. So now Sean has to vouch for him that he is definitely leaving the country today. And they actually said because he's been deemed undesirable, he'll have trouble getting back in the country. Craziness. They're fingerprinting him. There's our criminal. There.
8 days I worked. Turn around now.
Lucky he didn't go. Lucky Sean vouched for him or he would have been in shackles.
Cops was filmed on location with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Okay, we are setting sail. Finally, leaving the V&A, heading through that bridge that is just opening right now. Okay, we are just leaving now. The V&A waterfront on the 30th. Only 10 days after we were supposed to leave. There's the Phoenix staff wishing us off.
See you guys.
See you. And now that's the bridge, and Sean is under helm, captaining his own boat now. Sick of that mountain.
And I'm sick of that, and I'm sick of that, and that beer.
That restaurant and that bar. I hate them all now.
I hate that bratwurst right over there. I hate that
The whiskey bar. Look at that. Posing. As much as I said 11 or 12 days in Cape Town was plenty, I still am going to miss it. There's so much to do here. I'm definitely going to come back with Janice at some point.
Quick, we got to say goodbye to him. See you, mate.
See you later.
See you later. Woo! Next time.
After spending 13 days in Cape Town, it really did start to feel like home. The people are so friendly and helpful. I had a great time here. If it wasn't for the time crunch in order to get across the Atlantic on this big voyage, I would have been happy to stay longer. When I'm here with my own boat one day, I plan to show Janice all the great things I did and then more. And yeah, I'm gonna miss this place and I can't wait to go back. But the entire crew was excited to get on with this big voyage. Our next stop was going to be in Namibia, and that was going to be about 5 days sail from now. So we're out into the open ocean with adventure ahead of us, not knowing what to expect, but assuming we're going to have an awesome time. Okay, here we are on day 1 of sailing. We just left Cape Town. You can sort of see the mountains in the background. Oh, there's a seal. Oh, I'm sure I'll see lots of seals. So I wanted to say it's super calm, which is great for your first day. You don't want to have your first day be like massive swells slamming, because that's, at least in my opinion, the way you're going to get seasick is on the very first day. If you're going to get seasick, that's the day. So having calm is awesome. It's like 2 knots of true wind, so we're only getting a little bit of wind to keep that sail above me sort of full because of our actually motoring. And we just had that freighter go by us. Once we get out in the middle of the ocean, it's going to be far and few between. You're going to see freighters like that. But really comfortable and really quiet, even though we have the engine running. Now in a catamaran, you got 2 engines, and the most efficient way to go from A to B, saving gas, is only to run 1 engine at a time. Now we're in the break-in period, so Tomas is suggesting that we go anywhere between 24 and 2800 RPM, which is pretty high. It's definitely not the most fuel-efficient RPM to go at, but it's a break-in period. The diesel, you want to rev the engines every once in a while. So, I don't know, every hour or so we got to get it up to 2800 for a bit, and then back to 2400, and do that back and forth until we get to the break-in period and it's finished. By the time we get to Namibia, he's going to have some Phoenix Marine staff come down there and just give our boat the service, and they'll be able to tell by plugging a computer into it whether the motor was broken in with the appropriate RPMs, so that's cool. But look at that view. Sun sparkling off the water. While I was talking, a seal went by, but I was busy. Couldn't turn the camera around fast enough to catch it. But I'm sure we'll see lots of wildlife, aquatic wildlife on our passage. Can't wait to see dolphins. I'm sure that's going to happen at some point. Maybe, being close to South Africa, we'll even see some shark fins. You never know. There's our mascot that we've got mounted to the bow of the boat. Looks a little bit like Sean, so that's why we got it. Gotta give this thing a name now. I'm not sure what it is. I'm sure we'll come up with something. I don't think it'll look this nice after it's been exposed to the sun and the salt for 6 to 8 weeks, but we'll have to see. Good morning. Welcome to day 2 of our sailing adventure here. We've got our watches set up. I'm 6 to 9 p.m. and 6 to 9 a.m. It's about 7:30 now in the morning. The sun is just coming up. It's kind of hard for me to do updates in the night because right behind me there's a couch, and Tomas sleeps there. He's up now, that's why I started talking. He sleeps on the couch behind me, but Steve's been sleeping on the couch in the salon. So there's nowhere to really talk. I was planning to do little updates in the middle of my watches, but yeah, can't exactly talk when people are sleeping. So there's the helm up there where Niels is coming down from, and then Tomas sleeps on that couch right there. So when I'm on watch in the early hours before everybody's up, or even later, people are not up, everybody's sleeping there, or Steve who's just chose to sleep on the couch in the salon. Kind of hard for me to talk to the camera. So my original intention was to talk to you guys on my watches and tell you how things are going, but my watch is often when people are sleeping. So that might not happen. I might have to wait till everybody's up in order to do these updates. It's actually not that crazy windy. As you can see if I pan around here. Don't see any white caps. We are presently motor sailing, trying to make up some time because, as you know, if you've been watching the channel, we left 10 days late from when we should have left. And Tomas has to get to Namibia by a certain date to fly home. So we are racing against time. So we've got, even though we've got 11 knots of wind, we are motor sailing. There's Tomas and Sean up there just adjusting some of the sails, making sure everything's trimmed properly. They are also doing their checks of the various rigging, make sure nothing's come loose overnight, and that's what we're going to do once a day. So that's it for now. I'll get out my big cinematic camera soon, and when I'm not on watch, and show you some of the sights. So stay tuned. In case you're wondering what kind of instruments we're looking at up here at the helm, over here we have a combo screen going on. This is our chart, and this is where we left from. Look, our line, our dotted line there. That's Cape Town. We're over here. We've got to get all the way to Namibia, which is somewhere. There's somewhere around here is where we need to get to. So yeah, and then this is a radar. Clearly all we're getting is a little bit of haze in the morning radar. So go back to the chart. So there's Namibia. There's where we are. So we got a little ways to go, obviously. We think it'll take us about 4 to 5 days to get there. Other instruments up here is our engine. Right now we just have our port engine on, the RPM, oil pressure, coolant, how much fuel we have left. This is our heading. Obviously these things can be changed to other readings, and that's our apparent wind and our true wind. And yeah, this is just a control panel for doing it manually instead of touching the different screens. If you want to go back to a multi-screen, you hit this, then you hit combo, and there you go. You've got your combo back for all your apparent winds and speed. Right now we're doing a little over 8 knots motor sailing, so we're making really good time. And I should really get out behind the Stratoglass and show you what the sun looks like. There's the wake. If we wanted to make power, we would put that water and sea down, but we're really moving, so since we have the engine running, we don't really need the power right now, but when we're sailing, or only sailing, we'll probably put that down and get a little bit of extra juice for the batteries. Chopping out. Sean has set up his super fancy pole. Oh, I love this thing. Look at the size of that. Real. Anyways, he's got it set up for the first time, and he's got his deep dive lure. We're doing about 6.5 knots. Perfect trolling speed. And we turn the motors off. We are under both sails. Beautiful day. All right, day 2 of sailing. I just got up from a nap. Nobody was at the helm or in the salon or anywhere, so I found them all on the bow of the boat. Let's go check it out.
Wow. Giant person was about like this big, and then
Okay, as you can see, the boys are enjoying their pops up on the front of the boat on the beanbag chairs. It looks pretty comfortable. Now, I did promise you guys that I'd try and go around and do the ambient sounds of the boat, but clearly, as you can hear from the music, there's almost always music playing on this boat. I didn't experience that on the last boat, the last passage. It was a more quiet boat. This one seems to be more of a party boat. So to get ambient real sounds, it's gonna be hard with music, and at least for the first almost 2 days, we've been motor sailing, so there's always a motor running. So I'm gonna skip the old ambient real life sounds because it won't be real life sounds of the ocean. At some point when I have a quiet moment, I will do that for you guys. Instead, I'm just gonna answer one of the questions that are sent in by viewers because I do a question of the day. Let's get one of them out now. Let's get one of those questions of the day. Now, these were written by Janice when we did the live episode before we left, and I didn't realize it because I didn't read her handwriting till now. I can't read half of what she wrote. It's like a doctor's handwriting. It's like hieroglyphics. But there's a couple in here that I think are pretty good. Okay, question that is important for a trip like this is, have your shifts been established? Now, a lot of people have to decide between a rotating watch system where every shift it rotates slightly around the clock, or when we're set. We, as a group of 4, there's only 4 of us because Tomas doesn't count, he's only here to Namibia. He's kind of like the floater. The rest of us had to pick shifts. Neil is 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. I'm 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Sean is 9 a.m. to 12 a.m. and Steve is 12 to 3 p.m. and then it sort of flips in the night as well. So those are our fixed shifts. So far working pretty good. when we get to Namibia, we can always reshuffle if somebody decides that they don't love their shift and somebody else wants to switch. We'll do that in Namibia. So that right now, but I just want to show you the view we get from our cabin. This is where I sleep, right back here. And look at out these windows. All the way along here. Beautiful, almost barely above the water level views out our cabin. So tell me, that isn't a great way to wake up. Now obviously if you don't want all that light, you can pull these down. But if you're just taking a nap and you kind of want to feel like you're experiencing the day, just lay down on your cabin bed here, and just a few inches above your head is a beautiful view of the sunny ocean. Okay, one other thing I wanted to mention. I'm in the port side cabin here. I actually share it with Steve, who sleeps there, and there's this board in the middle. Tomas will do a full tour of the boat, but just for our cabin's purposes, we're doing a break-in of the engine. So we do the starboard engine, then the port engine, then the starboard engine, and because we're breaking it in, we're revving the engines higher than standard. This catamaran has 80 horsepower engines in each side, and one of the things Tomas has told me, the reason they've gone kind of oversized with the engine is therefore to get it up to a cruising speed, you don't have to rev the engines very high. They're a little higher than they should be right now just for the break-in period, but because you can keep your engines at like 1800 RPM, they are super quiet. Now right now we're probably at 2400 RPM, and it's still really, really quiet. This engine on the port side where I have my cabin is the one that's on right now, and as you can see, you can probably hear me perfectly fine. It's not that noisy. In fact, I didn't have any problem at all sleeping all night with that engine going behind me, because it's kind of a white noise. It's not super loud, but it's a constant noise, and that's easy for me to sleep with. So I had a pretty decent sleep. Check out this sunset. Isn't that beautiful? Now, we tend not to get great sunrises because we're so close to Africa that the dust from the various deserts blows out and obscures our sunrise. But we definitely get beautiful sunsets. And for those of you that are sailors want to know, we are now sailing with a main and a screecher. And hopefully we keep this wind all night. We sail all night. Until then, we're going to see how this sunset ends up. They're dressed, we're all dressed like Nanook of the North. Even me, the Canadian. I heard it. I won't tell you what they said to me. They always think I'm making fun of them for dressing like Nanook of the North, but look, I'm wearing like 5 layers. That's the thing about South Africa, or this time of year, it's their winter. So beautiful during the day, especially if it's sunny like it was today. But as soon as that sun starts getting near the horizon, it gets freaking cold out here. Anything to wreck a take. You see what I have to put up with? These guys, not helping me at all. Let's check out the sunset. Jesus. Oh, these guys. Let's just pretend they're not here and watch the beautiful sunset. As you can see, there was kind of a running joke with them that they would either swear like a trucker or sing really badly, copyright protected songs in an attempt to sabotage my footage. Hilarious. And I had to live with these guys for 6 to 8 more weeks. Lucky me. Anyways, if you want to watch the rest of these series, it is really informative, entertaining, and whatnot. As you know, as we get close to Namibia, we get pelicans landing on our boat, dolphins in the bow, seals jumping on our moving boat. It's crazy. You don't want to miss it, so definitely subscribe to the channel, hit that notification button so you don't miss any of the upcoming episodes. And if you found this entertaining or informative, show the channel some love by giving it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And until next time, this is Craig signing off, wishing you safe cruising, and ciao for now.
Weigh anchor and hoist the sail.